Welcome back, folks. My name's Shane. Today we're checking out the Behringer SL84C Dynamic Vocal Microphone. Here we go. Welcome back, folks. This is Shane. Today's video, we're testing out a brand new microphone from Behringer. This is basically an SM58 style mic, and I thought I'd see how we go with this. This is the SL84C. This is brand new as of 2020. I got my hands on one. Just full disclosure too, I paid full price for this here in Melbourne, Australia, and as you can see from the box, it came in at 32 Australian dollars. On B&H, it comes in at $11.99 US, so nice and cheap. If you do like the sound of this or you want to find out about it, links will be in the description below. So we're going to start with the microphone just dead flat going into my Zoom R16 recorder. So we just got the microphone, cable, recorder, no other effects other than boosting it a little bit in post. If I do change the volume a little bit, I'll leave some information on screen. I do have the gain cranked on the preamp right now. It's up a lot hotter than just about any other microphone I've tested, so it seems like a relatively low output microphone. Let's talk a little bit about what we get with the Behringer SL84C. So one of the cool things I love about these new mics is most of them come in these hard cases, which I think is a really great addition. Open it up, you get the microphone inside. We get the microphone clip and also an adapter screw in case you need the smaller threading. Included with the microphone, we also get some instructions if you want to go over the specifications and information about the mic. A little while back, I purchased and tested the Behringer B906. Now, this is an instrument microphone. If you're a guitar player and you want to see how their E906 Sennheiser clone sounds, I'll leave a link up to my other channel up in the cards. But basically, this is a great sounding microphone let down by the mic clip. The mic clip was super loose. It had no tension. It's a piece of junk, but the microphone itself is great. This particular microphone, the 84C, doesn't have that problem. The mic is stuck in there. It is not moving anywhere. So they've included in the mic clip. It's actually the right size. So way to go, Behringer. Do that more. Let's talk a little bit about the build quality of this microphone and my first impressions after getting it out of the box. So the first time I touched this was a minute before shooting the video when I set it up, and my heart kind of sank. I kind of went, ugh. It feels like an inexpensive microphone, and that's because it is. It comes in at $12 US, 32 Australian dollars. That's next to nothing. It's almost the cheapest microphone I could find out there, and I had no expectations of it being the most inexpensive microphone on the market that I could find, but it's definitely one of them. This microphone comes in at only 200 grams, which is super light. I'll put the conversion to ounces or whatever on screen for people who are using the Imperial system, but it weighs next to nothing. This is by far one of the lightest microphones I've ever felt. But I guess one of the positives of it as well is the fact that we do get a metal body. It doesn't actually specify in the instructions or online what the body material is made out of, but it feels okay in the hand. It just feels super light. Let's cover some of the specs now of the Behringer SL84C. Now, this microphone is a dynamic microphone. It doesn't require phantom power or any other external power source. You just plug it in and you'll be good to go. The frequency response is 50 Hz to 15 kHz, so not the full spectrum. If I was to compare this to, say, something like my Rode NT2A, that's a 20 to 20 covering the full range. Usually for vocals, though, you don't need that much of a range, but it's great to have it if you are doing home recording for certain instruments, but this will do 50 to 15. No problems at all, and that's enough for most vocal or live vocal applications. We get an impedance of 250 ohms. The connector is a 3-pin XLR connector, which is fantastic. The polar pattern is cardioid, and we'll talk a little bit about that in just a second. We get a sensitivity of -54. The maximum sound pressure level of this microphone is rated at 150 decibels. Now, this is great. This means you could scream into this at a live gig and it will handle that no problems at all. It also means you can run it in front of an electric guitar amplifier, a snare, or anything else, and you won't have any issues with it distorting or doing anything weird. One of the really cool things about the Behringer SL84C is the fact it's a cardioid polar pattern, which means you're going to get less noise coming in from behind and beside the microphone. If I'm going to turn this around, odds are my voice has dropped out drastically. And if I turn it fully 180 degrees, you're going to hear a whole lot less. This means it's an ideal microphone for having more than one in the room. If I'm doing a podcast or something like that, and I'm recording someone else the opposite side of the table, say facing towards me, you're not going to hear much of the other person in the room. So I'm going to show you that right now. This is a demonstration to hear how little of the audio that you'll hear from behind the microphone at an arm's length. So there you go. Let's see what the plosives are like with this microphone, and so far the majority of this I've been talking kind of across the front of the grill. Now, this is a live performance microphone, And I've been playing live for years and singing live for years, and I like to get right up on the microphone like this when I'm singing. It just sounds louder and fuller, and the proximity effect is good. The plosives aren't too bad compared to some microphones out there, but I can hear them a little bit, but I thought it might be worth just showing you that I think for the best results for spoken word, just have it back a little bit or talk across the front, and you'll get far less plosives than having it right up on your mouth like this. But if you are going to be recording a podcast, you want that big, warm sound, just get a little bit of a sock or a wind filter for this, and it's going to sound like $1 million, and I'll show you that now. I've just stolen my windsock off my Rode Procaster, and I really feel like this gives this microphone the best possible sound. Get as close to it as you can. This completely gets rid of the plosives. Plosives. I think it sounds pretty great. I'm going to leave this on for the rest of the video. In this section of the video, what I want to do is compare it to my favorite dynamic microphone, which might be a little bit of an unknown in other parts of the world, but this is the JTS NX8. What you're listening to right now is the NX 8.8 from JTS. This is a fantastic live vocal microphone. I've been using this for at least the last 5 years for all of my gigs. It's such a great vocal microphone, and it has great off-axis rejection, and it has a great proximity effect with what you're listening to right now. Now, this part of the test might not be that fair, so what I'm going to do is do a quick test between the SL84C and the 75C, which I did on my last video. So here we go. And now back to the Behringer SL84C. I can hear a huge difference. This actually sounds pretty clear, but it lacks that big bottom end warmth. But we're going to compare that now to the SL75C. Now let's try out the Behringer SL75C, just as a point of comparison to the 84C, which is their dedicated vocal microphone. Now this is based on an SM57. It can also be used for vocal, as well as any instrument application. They're both kind of comparable in that way. Now in my headphones, this sounds maybe a little bit hotter than the other microphone, just in terms of its output at the same volume on my desk. So yeah, there you go. That's the comparison. Let's go back. Let's try this microphone now through the DBX286S microphone, preamp, and processor. I've added a whole lot more bass, and I think it sounds a lot more professional now than it did without any processing. Of course, you can do this kind of processing in post in your computer program if you want to do that, but I want to see how it would respond just through the DBX going into my Zoom. No other tricks. So yeah, I like the sound of this a whole lot more. It's a very bright microphone, I've noticed as well, since I've increased the gain with the DBX, but I've actually got the treble on there all the way down too. Just enhance the bass, add a little bit of an expander, and this is the kind of result you'll get out of it. So let's talk a little bit about who this microphone is for and whether or not I'm actually going to recommend this to you guys. So honestly, I'm not overly impressed by it. It sounds pretty good now, thanks to the DBX processor. If you've got a DBX and you want to get a couple of cheap microphones, this might be okay for that, but it's definitely not one of the best microphones out there. The plosives are a little bit full on sometimes as well. I kind of find it's a little hit and miss with it. Sometimes you don't notice it that much, and other times it's extremely annoying. So I've noticed that in my headphones, the plosives are all over the place, and I'm not too sure what that is. It's like certain angles on the microphone make it more prominent than others. This particular microphone is really only aimed at one type of person, someone who wants to keep the cost down and who are new to podcasting or new to live performance. There's so many better microphones out there. I'm actually going to be comparing this to a whole lot of other microphones I've just purchased as well, so stay tuned for that. I just want to get my first impressions / review out of this. And you know what? Now that I'm getting used to the sound, you could definitely get away with it. It's only when you start comparing audio between different microphones that you can hear a huge difference. So if you've just got this and you can do a little bit of post EQing and all that kind of stuff, you can get some good results out of it, but post EQing. See, there's those plosives, even though I've got the sock on there. So keep that in mind. You still got to talk across it a little bit more to get less plosives. See, it went away. Thanks again for watching. My name's Shane. If this video is helpful, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe and click the bell. I've got another microphone right over there. I'm going to be not only comparing to this, but reviewing as well. So stay tuned. Catch you later.